All right, welcome back to another edition of the Inside or the Franklin Community High School Career Exploration Project. With me today, I have Greg Ilko, who is a civil engineer for Crossroads Engineers, which is in Beech Grove. Greg, thank you for taking the time to be with me today.
My pleasure, Brian. Good afternoon.
So I guess why don't you first of all just start off to let me know kind of what a civil engineer is, what they do, and kind of how you got into this position.
Sure. Civil engineering, there's actually a lot of facets to civil engineering. There's a structural component, there's a geotechnical component, there's an environmental component, there's a transportation component, there's a site development component. So it's vast in what we do as a civil engineer. Breaking it down to some simple tasks is just basically working to get infrastructure constructed, designed mainly, and constructed about the areas.
Yeah. Now, what do you work mainly with houses, with residential, with commercial? What's kind of or do you just all over?
No, so my specialty is site development. So of all those facets that I just referenced, I deal with the site development part of things, and that's mainly the private sector, where I'm dealing with developers who want to construct single family subdivisions or retail buildings, standalone office structures, things like that. So that's my specialty and what I do at Crossroads.
Okay. So as far as your training, education, and all that, what kind of training and education do you have, and did you get, and from where? And also, what led you into engineering and civil engineering?
So in engineering in general, graduating high school, I've always been good at math, always been a pieces parts kind of guy, wanting to know how things worked, building things. Got me into engineering. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering from Tri-State University, which is now Trine University up in Northeast Indiana, in Angola. Mm-hmm. My degree is actually aerospace engineering. So I graduated aerospace, and then after graduation, worked manufacturing engineering for a little bit, and then went back to school, took a few classes, and got into civil engineering. So I hop skipped around a little bit even after college.
Yeah. It's amazing how many different parts of engineering there are, and just how many different roles, like you just talked about the manufacturing, the aerospace, civil, just how many of them there really are.
Yeah, and the foundation for each of them are all pretty typical. You got your general engineering science classes as you get into your first couple of years of schooling, your calculuses, your physics, structures, things like that. And then once you get to your upper graduate classes, as far as your junior, senior level classes, that's really where you really start honing in on your specialty.
Yeah, and just being able to see, like, get the hands-on experience and everything at that point.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
So as far as your job, obviously you said you've always been good at math, so it's a career that you enjoy. What are some of the pros that you see, some of the things that you really like? And then obviously with every job, even no matter how much we love it, there's always some things that we don't like. So what are some cons as far as your job goes?
So you want the cons now?
Pros and cons.
Some pros and cons. Okay.
Yeah.
I will start with the pros, and you're involved with something that's tangible. You have the opportunity to design and work with people where you live, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about doing work in Indiana, basically South Side Indianapolis, Central Indiana. I get to see my work come to fruition, right? I am able to see it become a real thing, and you're improving where you live, certainly a pro. Depending on your personality and if you like working with people and challenges, engineering is being a problem solver. Engineering offers those opportunities constantly. That's definitely a pro. From a con standpoint, and this probably isn't engineering specific, it's probably many industries, but deadlines, pressures to get things done, those kind of issues arise. But again, you just got to fall back on your abilities to problem solve and schedule yourself correctly, and use your time properly, and get the tasks completed.
Right. Now, you mentioned people who would be good at the job as far as just their personalities go. What kind of personality do you think might struggle at a job like engineering?
So I definitely, from a technical aspect of things, mathematics is a big portion of what we do. There's a lot of calculations involved, regardless of the field of civil engineering that you're in, or engineering in general. So if math is not your strong suit, engineering is probably not going to be a good idea. That is from a curriculum standpoint. From a personality standpoint, there are personalities are across the board. You got a lot of extroverts and introverts in the field, and it just depends on who you are and what you end up doing. From a personality standpoint, really, the sky's the limit. But I would say mainly your educational strong point of mathematics would lead you into engineering.
Okay. Now, how would, let's say, high school student right now, they want to go into engineering. What's the best way for them to prepare for that? Obviously, strong math classes.
Yeah, definitely strong math classes, and depending on the engineering, because if I'm not talking about like a chemical engineer or a biomedical engineer or anything like that, but any of the like a civil or a mechanical, any drafting classes would be good. AutoCAD or any type of design software classes that the high school may offer, those are always good, just to help prepare for some of the curriculum that you're going to see in college.
Yeah. What type of math classes are we talking? We have pre-cal and trig. We have finite, business calc, and AP calc. Which one of those kind of stand out to you?
From a civil engineering standpoint, I use trigonometry the most, believe it or not, with the angles, profiles of roads, cross sections, calculating grades and slopes. Trigonometry is a big one. From a secondary education, getting into college, you're definitely going to have the calculus.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not be using it in your field, but in order to prepare yourself, you got to have it. So
yeah,
those if they can find time in their schedule to get like an AP class in there, they might be able to get some college credits in addition to preparing themselves for the classes that they're going to be taking.
All right. Okay, Greg, last question here. Just general advice for high school students. Anything you can think of for a high school student?
In terms of just getting into the engineering field?
No, just anything in general. Anything that you could go back in time and tell 16, 17-year-old Greg, what would it be?
Well, enjoy your time in high school, and honestly, enjoy your time in college as well. You're going to be working for the rest of your life. So, stick to the books, though. Obviously, there's a reason that you're in school, but, enjoy your time there as well, because, like I said, you're going to be working the rest of your life.
Yeah, it goes by really quick too, and then next thing you know,
it does.
Mortgages and other problems you got to deal with.
Exactly.
Yep.
So once again, Greg Ilko, a civil engineer through Crossroad Engineers in Beech Grove. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely my pleasure. You have a good day.
All right.